My father-in-law opened his arms to protect me, and in return he opened my legs to fill me. This is the sad story of most human beings. In exchange for a favor, we always ask for something. My name is Vilma, and I have been married to Adrian for 5 years. Like all marriages, we were very happy at first, but a dark cloud darkened our destiny. I don't know why he started drinking, and as if that weren't enough, he developed a sick and unfounded jealousy. Unfortunately, both things progress over time. As a result of his vice, he had problems at work until he was finally fired. For that reason, we had to go live at my father-in-law's house, Don Alfonso. My husband's character, due to his problems, became more and more unbearable, reaching the point of first verbally and then physically attacking me. Don Alfonso, my father-in-law, had protected me several times when I was verbally abused, becoming my protector, but I had never witnessed any physical abuse. One day, Adrian came home drunk. As usual, I was the target of his frustration. He attacked me and tore the housecoat I was wearing, leaving me with my breasts exposed. He had not realized that his father was home. Don Alfonso, a strong man of 50 who worked in construction, pushed the door open with a strong push and, taking his son by the neck, dragged him to the front door. Throwing him out of the house, he told him not to set foot in it again while he was under the influence of alcohol. He returned to my room, where I, half naked, was sitting on the bed crying. When he returned, he sat next to me and gave me a fatherly hug of comfort. I could not contain my tears and, curled up on his chest, I cried until, stroking my hair and gently patting my back, he controlled me a little. "Vilma, everything will be fine. I cannot allow Adrian to treat you like that," he said softly. "Thank you, Don Alfonso. I don't know what I would do without you," I replied between sobs. Adrian, since he had keys to the house, tried to go back, but his breath gave him away to his father, who made him understand his strong position. "You don't get into my house with alcohol on your breath." He took the keys from him. Don Alfonso's kindness made me reciprocate in the same way, especially with his food and the care of his clothes. One day, he told me to prepare some sandwiches, since we were going to spend the day at a nearby lake. "Come on, Vilma. We deserve a day off. Prepare some sandwiches and let's spend the day at the lake," Alfonso suggested with a smile. We spent a pleasant day talking and laughing about anything. On the way home, he told me, "Alcohol, as my son has taken it, is very negative, but a few beers from time to time don't hurt anyone." He stopped at a liquor store and bought a dozen, clarifying that we might have them in 2 sittings, since 6 beers each would be a bit too strong for me. "Vilma, don't worry. We're not going to get drunk. Just relax a bit," Alfonso reassured me. When we got home, he opened one for each of us while I suggested cooking something to go with the beers. "I'm going to prepare something light to go with the beers," I told him. "Prepare things that don't take much effort." "Nothing more appropriate than some Vienna sausages with fresh cheese," Alfonso replied. When I finished preparing them, we had already finished the first beer and he opened 2 more. "The conversation is getting more lively," Alfonso commented as he opened the next beers. When he opened the 3rd beer, he said to me, "I had thought we would have 3 each. What do you say?" "As Macario says, this isn't every day," I replied, shrugging. He smiled, sat down next to me, and stroked my hair like the day he defended me from his son, pulling my head to his chest. "Vilma, I want you to know that you can always count on me. I won't let anyone hurt you," he told me in a firm voice. I felt the difference between Adrian's alcoholic breath and Alfonso's. The former was full of bitterness and aggression, while Alfonso's had a warm and protective tone. Between my husband's abuse and the security I felt at his side, we almost unconsciously gave ourselves over to a different, gentlemanly romance. Alfonso was an experienced man, and although our relationship was intense, He always treated me with respect and tenderness. That night, after the last beer and a light dinner, Alfonso and I found ourselves in the living room, wrapped up in a conversation that was becoming increasingly intimate. The warm light of the sunset bathed the room, creating a cozy atmosphere and, in some way, charged with a tension that we both felt but neither dared to mention. "Vilma, there's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time," Alfonso began, his voice full of seriousness. "What is it, Alfonso?" I asked, looking into his eyes. "Ever since I started defending you, I've felt something for you. Something more than just father-in-law affection. I can't deny it anymore," he confessed, his eyes fixed on mine. I felt his hand on my cheek, a tender gesture that made my heart beat faster. His fingers brushed my skin with a delicacy that contrasted with the roughness I had experienced with Adrian. I closed my eyes, letting myself be carried away by that caress that promised more than words could express. Gently, he took me by the hand and led me to his room. Once there, he turned on a lamp that projected a soft, golden light, enveloping us in a bubble of intimacy. We looked into each other's eyes, and in that instant I knew we were about to cross a line from which there would be no return. "Vilma, if at any time you feel uncomfortable, tell me. I don't want to hurt you," Alfonso told me in a soft voice. "No, Alfonso. I want this. I want to be with you," I replied, my eyes filled with desire and certainty. His strong, warm hands began to unbutton my blouse, each button that came undone releasing not only my skin, but also the desire that had been held in place for so long. The fabric fell to the floor, and I felt the need to touch him, to know every inch of his skin tanned by years of work and sun. "Your skin is so soft," Alfonso murmured as his hands explored my body. Alfonso pulled me towards him, and our bodies met in an embrace that mixed the urgency of desire with the tenderness of love that was being born. His lips sought mine, and when we finally kissed, it was as if the world disappeared. The kiss was slow, deep, charged with a passion that overflowed with every movement. "I've wanted you for so long, Vilma," he whispered against my lips. "And I want you, Alfonso. You've always made me feel safe and loved," I replied, kissing him more fervently. With each caress, we explored each other's bodies, discovering points of pleasure that made us moan in anticipation. His hands moved down my back, stopping at my hips, then moving up again to unclasp my bra. Feeling my bare breasts against his chest, a sigh escaped my lips. "Vilma, you're beautiful," Alfonso said, admiring my body. He picked me up and carried me to the bed. He laid me down gently, as if he were afraid of breaking me. He stripped in front of me, and I could appreciate the beauty of his mature body, every muscle defined by years of physical effort. As he joined me on the bed, our skins met again, this time without barriers. "I want to make you feel good, Vilma. I want you to enjoy it," Alfonso murmured as his lips moved down my neck. "And you do, Alfonso. You make me feel loved," I replied, each kiss feeling like a promise. His lips trailed down my neck, slowly descending to my breasts. Each kiss, each lick, lit a fire inside me that I couldn't and wouldn't put out. His hands explored my body, learning my curves, my sensitive spots, as I gave myself completely to him. "Vilma, tell me if you don't like something," Alfonso whispered, his eyes filled with concern. "I love everything you do, Alfonso. Don't stop," I begged, lost in the sensation. The tension and pent-up desire drove us together. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe for more stories.